Set to begin for the two men who are accused in the death of Osceola County mother Nicole Montalvo. Christopher Otero Rivera and Angel Luis Rivera are both charged with second-degree murder. The two are accused of killing Montalvo back in October of 2019. And joining us right now with more on this case is defense attorney Whitney Boan. Always good to see you, Whitney. How are you?
Hey, Amy. Good. How are you doing?
Very good, thanks. So a couple of things have changed since this whole thing started, right? We have a different sheriff now. We have a different district attorney. How does that complicate things as you go into a major trial like this?
Well, the prosecutors who are actually handling this case have stayed the same, even though the elected official is now Monique Worrell versus Aramis Ayala. I think that, you know, it's going to be a rather seamless process in terms of those changes. I think the bigger hurdle at this point is trying to make sure that everybody's safe and this trial can be done in a way that respects the constitutional rights of these defendants while protecting everybody involved from exposure to coronavirus.
Right, absolutely. And everybody has been watching, obviously, the Derek Chauvin trial going on in Minneapolis, and we see all of the extra precautions being taken there, the mask, the plexiglass, all these things. Can we expect that to happen here, too?
Absolutely. They're going to require the jurors, obviously, to wear masks, but they're going to be clear masks because it's important that as attorneys and litigants in the case, people are able to see the facial expressions of the jurors. It's not that we have a general distrust of jurors. It's just it's important to the process that we make sure that, you know, people are able to communicate and that we're able to see if people are talking in a manner where we wouldn't be able to tell otherwise because their faces are covered by masks that obscure view. So it's going to be a different way of doing trials. It's already been rolled out, though, in Orange and Osceola counties and in federal courts locally here, and it seems to be working pretty well.
Whitney, what do you make of the charges in this particular case, these second-degree murder charges? This is a case that really, I think, was problematic from the beginning because they had a difficult time trying to figure out who they thought killed this young mother.
Well, the bottom line is I think that it's one of those cases where, unfortunately, you know, obviously it appears that there was some sort of foul play or at least some sort of foul play after Nicole Montalvo passed. However, it's an interesting case from another perspective because we really don't know how she died, exactly when she died, and who killed her if she was killed. So it's not the strongest of prosecution. It's not the strongest case for prosecutors, let's put it that way. But I certainly understand the motivation to try to hold whoever is responsible for this accountable. I'm just not sure that I believe that the case is going to be easy to prove to a standard or beyond a reasonable doubt to a jury as far as who actually committed this crime, if one was committed.
And Whitney, you bring up those 2 points, and I immediately go to the Casey Anthony trial because there's the same problems that the prosecution had there.
Right. I mean, it's an important part of being able to prove a murder charge against somebody is being able to prove that someone actually was murdered. And we don't know how Nicole Montalvo died. We know that the way that her body or the remains, unfortunately, of her body were found, it sounds gruesome and horrible and is not the way we would want any human to be treated, whether they were already deceased or not. But that doesn't necessarily extrapolate to being able to prove how she died and if she was killed, who killed her.
Well, it is certainly a case a lot of people are going to be following, and we always love talking to you. Defense attorney Whitney Boan, thank you as always for taking the time.
Have a great
day.
Thanks.
You too. Danielle.